Hey there, Wildcats. You're officially tuned into the latest episode of Lincoln WildCAST. We've got a wild show lined up for you, from laughs and games with our friends and teachers to lessons learned in the classroom and all around the community. We've got something for everyone to enjoy. This week, we're also joined by a very special guest, Lincoln High School graduate and current manager of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Nick Kellar. Turn up the volume, Wildcats, and let's pounce on the headlines. First up, let's get into our camo for a brand new segment all about hunting, fishing, and the great outdoors.
Welcome to the hunting segment. Today we'll be interviewing Mr. Hawk.
Morning, guys. Good to be here.
What's your favorite hunting experience?
So I was thinking about this question earlier, and I think my favorite experience was when I was really young. My grandfather took me squirrel hunting. It was one of the first times I got to go out, and that was the day I just got hooked. You know, we both did really well that morning. It was like a cold, crisp fall morning in Grant County, where I'm from. And, you know, I just remember that day just so specifically, like it happened yesterday. And I just was hooked that day and just fell in love with it ever since.
What's your favorite game to hunt?
I think for me, it's got to be the whitetail deer. Always chasing that big buck. You know, they're often more elusive than anything for me. But, yeah, chasing the big buck every year, just spending the whole year getting ready for it and going out with putting plots out and tree stands and minerals and stuff like that. Just game pictures and trail cameras and just, you know, talking about it with people. Just gotta be the buck. But turkey season's coming, so I'm pretty excited for that as well.
All right. What's your favorite dream hunt you could probably go on?
Dream hunt, I would love to go out west. I've never been, excuse me, I'd love to go to Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, something like that. I'd love to go on a moose hunt or an elk hunt. So hopefully someday we can make that happen.
Thanks, Mr. Hawk, for coming on the hunting segment.
Hey, guys, we're glad to be here.
Now we'll be doing the Guess the Animal sound.
The animal sound was an elk.
Next, we'll be doing the hunter safety tip of the week.
The hunter safety tip of the week is you have to wear orange.
Play along with our Wildcast Guess Who as we listen for clues and figure out our mystery guest.
Welcome back, Wildcats, to Guess Who. Today, the mystery person is an 8th grader. Our first question is, how tall are you? Let's hear their answer.
I'm 4'11".
Any guesses?
Is it Lucas?
Is it Maya?
That was correct. Let's hear from Maya.
Hi, I'm Maya Stout.
That's all on Guess Who. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Let's go over to the loudest room in the school, the band room, as we learn what the LMS band is working on right now. We will also go over to Timothy for some great information about non-traditional music. Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Lily.
I'm Leighton.
And I'm Xavier. Today we're going to be talking about what we're playing in band.
Right now we're working on Not Alone and Disney around the band room.
Yeah, they're really different from each other.
Not Alone is slower and more emotional.
It kind of sounds like movie music during an important scene, so we have to focus on dynamics and playing together.
Here's the beginning of Not Alone.
For Disney Around the Band Room, we play a mix of songs like Let It Go, A Whole New World, and Under the Sea.
Yeah, it's fast and way more energetic.
And since we recognize the songs, it makes it fun to play.
Both songs help us improve in different ways.
One helps with expression,
And the other helps with rhythm and energy.
That's all for today.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
My name is Timothy, and this is Non-Traditional Music, the show where we highlight the true stars of the land and forward them on the stage to be seen. Enter Puzzle, the musical brainchild of Fletcher Shears. Fletcher Shears' music is characterized by its floaty, carefree style along with its hyper-high contrast against itself and its musical style. Puzzle and other projects like it go off with the stylistic philosophy of Vada Vada, to create something that in no capacity is restricted to be made by the artist. My name is Timothy, and that was Non-Traditional Music.
One student, one teacher. Both enter the podcast studio, but only one leaves with a W. It's time for the Student Teacher Trivia.
Hello and welcome to the Student Teacher Trivia. We welcome Miss Edelman and Kateri to our segment. So without further ado, let's go to our animal-themed trivia. There are 8 questions to be answered. 1. What type of farm animal can be sunburned? A horse, B, a pig, C, a cow, D, a goat. Kateri?
A pig.
Correct.
Whatever.
Question number 2. What is the only big cat that does not roar? A, panthers, B, tigers, C, lions, or D, a cheetah? Miss Adelman?
A cheetah?
Correct.
3. What is the only insect that can turn its head 180 degrees? B, a praying mantis, B, a beetle, C, a black widow, D, a fly. Miss Eidelman?
A praying mantis?
Correct.
Question number 4. What do you call the underside of the horse's hoof? A, a horseshoe, B, a stump, C, a frog, or D, a toe?
A horseshoe? Oh, no.
Would you like to guess, Kateri? We have A, a horseshoe, B, a stump, C, a frog, or D, a toe?
A stump.
Incorrect.
Was it a toe?
It was a
It was a
frog.
frog.
No. That's just weird.
5. What is the main way cats show that they trust someone? A, head turning, B, purring, C, circling around them, D, tail wagging. Kateri?
Purring.
Incorrect. Miss Eidelman, would you like to take a go? A, headbutting.
I'm going to guess headbutting.
Correct.
Meow.
Congrats to Miss Adelman for winning this week's Student Teacher Trivia. We thank you both for coming to our segment. Now let's kick it over to Raylan for What's Trending.
Welcome
to that one meme in your head.
So what's a meme?
They're funny sayings that are trends.
So like 6, 7?
Yes.
So what's 9 plus 10?
21. What's 6 plus 1?
7.
Boop boop ski skirt.
We're thriving.
Lily, I have 89 tabs open.
On what?
I have it for memes.
Like what?
Like 6, 7,
I would never order a pizza for myself.
21.
Bing chulling.
I just want a free bag of chips.
Did you get that from Tic Tac also?
Yes, those are memes, Lily.
So like 6, 7, 8, 9, will you be my Valentine?
No, Lily.
Bye, lovely people! It is time to head back to the olden days for some LMS history and antique roadshow.
Hi, I'm Xavier.
And I'm Cam.
We're going to go over history today and what it's like today and why it matters to the community.
Or at least we'll try.
All right, so Lincoln Middle School is located in Shinston and is a part of Harrison County Schools.
Yeah, it's also right next to Lincoln High School. Same campus, basically.
It actually helps students get used to high school and environment early.
Yeah, I guess. You don't have to learn where everything is again.
Now let's talk about history behind the game. Like many schools called Lincoln, it was most really likely named after Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, you've probably heard of him.
He led the country during the Civil War and is known for his leadership and honesty.
Important guy, obviously.
Even though there isn't a specific record confirming that it's common tradition across the U.S.
Basically, a lot of schools are named Lincoln.
Today, Lincoln Middle offers core classes like math, science, English, and social studies.
Yeah, school stuff.
But there is also more than just classes. Students can join sports teams and clubs and activities.
If you're into that.
Those activities help students build skills and make connections.
Or you could just give something to do after the school.
The teachers and staff also help guide students and prepare them for high school.
Yeah, they try to keep everyone on track.
This is because the school is in smaller town like Shinston and its strong connection to the community.
Yeah, everyone kind of knows everyone, for better or worse.
Events like games and school activities bring people together.
Yeah, people show up to those.
Overall, Lincoln Middle School helps students grow and get ready for the future.
It's a school. It does what schools do.
All right, that's all for today's episode. Finally, thanks for listening.
See you next time.
My name is Timothy, and this is the Antique Roadshow, a place where we find the archaic and bring it to the today. Today, we have a very common artifact, which goes by the name of the CD. It shows to have been a shiny disc, often with art imprinted on one side. We believe that they once used them as an art form, or as a form of keeping info. Another leading theory is that they might have been used as an deterrent for aphians in common gardens when losing a harvest was not an option. My name is Timothy, and that was Antique Roadshow.
Up next, let's hear from the WildCAST sports crew for World Sports and Game Time Talk. Welcome to World Sports, where we bring you the biggest sports news from around the globe. We've got exciting updates from soccer, golf, baseball, and basketball today.
In this segment, we break down what's happening in world sports right now. Big wins, tough injuries, and major changes in different leagues. Let's get started.
Let's start with soccer. Arsenal beat Sporting 1-0 in a Champions League game, showing strong defense and teamwork. Also, FIFA is looking into a situation after some hurtful chants happening during a match, which could lead to consequences for the team involved. And in big news, veteran player Aaron Ramsey announced he is retiring from soccer after many successful years of playing at the highest level.
Now to golf. The Masters is starting at Augusta National, but for the first time since 1994, two legendary golfers, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, won't be competing. Many fans say this feels like the start of a new generation of golfers stepping into the spotlight.
Over in baseball, the 2026 MLB season is officially underway. Some star players like
Juan Soto and Jacob deGrom
are dealing with injuries early in the season, which could affect their teams. However, young talents like Connor Griffin are already making headlines and showing fans what the future of baseball might look like.
And in basketball, Michigan is coming off a dominant performance in the NCAA tournament, proving they are one of the top college teams this year. Meanwhile, in the NBA, teams are fighting hard as the regular season comes to an end and playoff spots are starting to get locked in. Every game matters right now, and the competition is getting intense.
That wraps up today's World Sport Update. We hope you enjoyed hearing the latest news from around the sports world. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on World Sports. Welcome back to Game Time Talk, where we break down everything in sports.
Today's episode is a pregame edition, so we're giving our predictions and what to watch for.
And since it's spring season, we're focusing on softball and baseball.
Let's get right into it.
Let's start with baseball. Big game coming up against Robert L. Bland on Thursday. What does our team need to do to win?
Pitching is going to be huge. If the pitcher can stay consistent and throw strikes, we're in good shape.
I think hitting is just as important. We need solid contact and to get runners on base early.
And defense. No errors, clean plays can win the game.
All right, now softball. Big game on Friday against Bridgeport. What are we expecting?
Softball is fast-paced, so staying focused every inning is key.
Quick reactions on defense will matter a lot. And base running. Being aggressive but smart could change the game.
Now we've got a special pregame interview with Addie Hill, one of our softball players.
Thanks for joining us. First question, how are you feeling going into the game on Friday?
I'm feeling like we have been doing pretty well on defense. We've been just staying calm and collected and just like focusing on making the routine plays. And it also helps that we have a very, very good pitcher who consistently throws strikes and is able to get the batters to just hit, and we'll just let our defense make the plays. And yeah.
What's something the team has been focusing on in practice?
The team has really been focusing on engagement, because when we are not engaged, you miss the routine plays that you need to be making. And when you're engaged, you can focus on being aggressive base running and just like being able to make the plays that you need to focus and win the game.
What do you think will be the key to winning today? Friday.
Once again, just engagement, just being able to know what the smart decision is, just be aware of your surroundings, just not making unnecessary throws, and just focusing down on the basics and just getting everything done that you need to get done.
Last question. Any messages for your teammates?
I would say just stay positive and just like try to be the first to score, but if you're not, don't put your head down. Just keep it up. An error is an error, and you just move on, and you just keep going and just be as positive as possible.
Time for predictions.
I think baseball will be a close game, but we'll pull it off.
Softball wins by a bigger margin if they keep up their energy.
Both teams have a strong chance, just comes down to the execution.
That's our pregame breakdown.
And shout out to our softball player for the interview.
Good luck to both teams.
Thanks for listening, Game Time Talk. See you next time.
Finally, let's go to our special guest interview team as they sit down with Nick Kellar, an LHS graduate and current football manager for Notre Dame. Nick will talk all about the middle school to high school transition and what it's like to work with a college football team. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a special guest joining us.
That's right, we invited Nick Kellar. He is a recent high school graduate of Lincoln High School and is also a manager for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish too. We are going to be talking about some high school advice and what it's like being a football team manager.
Thanks for being here with us today.
Let's start with the big question. What was the biggest difference between middle school and high school?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think probably one of the bigger differences between middle school and high school is, so whenever you're in middle school, you're in class with a lot of people that are in your grade. You've kind of been doing that for a while. But once you get into high school, you're in some classes that are with people in other grades. You're, having lunch, hanging out with people that are different ages from you. They're all in different parts of their journey. And so kind of just experiencing that and getting to meet people that are from different perspectives. It's a lot different. It's honestly kind of cool.
That sounds important. What is one thing middle school students should start doing to get ready now?
I would say one thing is try to make sure you have a routine, not just in school, but after school. Maybe making sure that you're keeping up with your homework, making sure that you're just kind of allocating time for whatever responsibilities you have. Because whenever you start in high school, you're going to start getting more responsibilities, whether it be just clubs you're in, different sports, if you're student council. And so having a set time or having a set schedule will help you stay on track with everything. And not just in high school, but just later on too.
Good tip. Were the classes much harder in high school?
I would say some of them were and some of them weren't. It's a little bit of a mix. And I think like one of the cool things too is you have so many different types of classes. First off, the fact you guys are doing a podcast is like a pretty cool class. But in high school, I remember it was like a newspaper class. I took a class on sociology, which is a really cool subject. I know a lot of people take psychology. So, and I guess like just the idea of getting to pick your classes a little different. So,
what about making friends? Is it hard when you first get into high school?
I would say not if you already have kind of a friend group in middle school. A lot of the friends that I had in 8th grade, I continued to hang out with in high school. And I found it easy to make friends with people in my homeroom and in different classes. No, I don't think it was hard to make friends. I'd say it was pretty easy. you just got to put yourself out there. I mean, everyone wants to make friends, so just talk to someone.
That's great advice. What is one mistake you made that you wish you could go back and fix?
Oh, that's a good question. I think one mistake that I don't even know if I'd call it necessarily a mistake, but I always took things so seriously that it would stress me out. I always knew where I wanted to go and things like that. So I always was extra hard on myself to make sure that I did everything right. And while it's good to take things seriously, and you should take things seriously, never let it get to the point where you're stressed out, because you're actually probably going to do worse than if you would maybe relax a little bit and handle things in a more calm manner. So I'd say don't ever stress out, but take things serious. That was probably the one mistake I made, because it probably prevented me from enjoying things to the extent that I could have.
That's something a lot of students can relate to.
All right, what has been your favorite moment as a manager?
Ooh, my favorite moment as a manager. That's a good question. I would say one of my favorite moments, this is the one that sticks out to me, is last year, whenever we played Indiana in the playoff game. I was working in the locker room, and whenever I walked in to the locker room, head coach Nick Saban, Reese Davis, and Desmond Howard, if you guys know who any of those guys are, they're big names on ESPN, College Game Day. They were all in the locker room. And so it was cool to just kind of be in the same room as them, that up close. It was probably one of my favorite moments. Still sticks with me today.
Before we wrap up, what is one final piece of advice for middle school students getting ready for high school?
I would say never sell yourself short and always bet on yourself. I always wanted to go to a good school, right? Like I always wanted to go to Notre Dame specifically. And I'm sure you guys know not a lot of kids from our area do that. But I think one reason why a lot of kids don't do that is because they don't think they can. And so maybe doing the extra things, doing the things that you think will get you to that next level. I'd say that's important. Being involved. If you want to be on the football team, go join the football team. If you want to run for student council, go do that. Do everything, and it'll take you places.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your advice.
We hope this helps middle school students getting ready for high school or soon to be football managers.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.